All right, just wanted to do a little chat about this Breezer Radar Expert 2023 model. So I picked up this bike a little while ago, and I thought it would be kind of like my daily rider kind of thing. And I'm not going to keep it as a daily rider. It's a great bike. It's actually a nice ride. It's a steel frame, 4130 chromoly. This is the Deore group set. So it's got the Deore derailleurs and Shimano Sora shifters. This is set up as a 2x, and it's got this very interesting little Breezer crank with a hollow axle, and it's a nice crank. And yeah, everything about the bike is actually good. Like there's no one thing I don't like. The brakes are these TRP mechanical, so cable pull brake, but then there's fluid in this reservoir, so it behaves like a hydraulic brake even though you work it like a mechanical brake. So yeah, so it's a good bike overall. Like I think if you were to buy one of these, definitely ride it first. So what I like about it, the steel frame feels great. The geometry feels great. Like I feel like I could climb a log with this thing. Like it's basically a excellent cross between mountain and road. And it's got all the rack mounts for anything you want. Fork mounts. There's bottle mounts. There's two mounts underneath here that you can't really see. There's the seat stay, and then in the dropout there's some mounts. So to use as like an adventure bike, oh my god, for sure. What I don't like about it, so I'm about 6 feet tall, and I would normally ride a 56. This is a 54, and it actually fits me quite large. It's actually quite big. So I feel like I'm just like stretched out over it. So I would say if you are gonna buy one of these, definitely ride it first. You don't want to feel stretched out over it too much. The other thing, I think it's just a little bit about these tires. So these are WTB 45 by 700s. They're a wonderful tire, but I think the squish factor makes the bike overall feel a little slow. And so compared to my Surly, this bike actually feels kind of slow. And it may just be in my head, but it is a nice bike, and I've done some rides with it and I really like it. It's just the riding position of it is not my favorite. The bars have, I mean, I know this is all the rage these days, but these gravel bars kind of like flare out. And I wanted to try them and give them a try and just see what I thought. I don't find them to be particularly beneficial or comfortable. I would prefer kind of just a straight drop. And these are kind of flared out, and I just feel like my hand is in a strange position to operate. I mean, I don't know, I just feel like I'm too like out. So I would prefer to have something, with more of a straighter bar, but that might just be what I'm used to. The other thing, I'm just getting picky here, but like the amount of play, so this is in the kind of the ratcheting system inside the rear cassette. There's just more play than what I'm used to. Maybe, I don't know, I don't really think I drive, or I don't think I ride really expensive bikes, but this just feels like, I feel that like when I'm at a stoplight or something and I go to engage, it's like, oh yeah, there's this weird gap here. So there's that. And again, that's probably just me being extra picky. And the other thing is that the brakes come with 160 millimeter rotors, and I'm just used to 200 millimeter rotors, and so I think that just affects the grip or the overall capability of the brake. My Surly has 200 millimeter rotors on it, and I just feel like they grab a lot better. So that might be just an upgrade worth doing. If you did get this bike, maybe think about some larger rotors. The seat is really comfortable. The handlebars are very comfortable. Especially like this top position is really squishy. It's the bar tape, I guess. And overall, I think the bike is like a very easy bike to own. Like if this was going to be your first gravel bike, definitely a good bike. Like commendable, awesome bike. I paid $1,000 for this bike. I bought it just one season of use. And so for $1,000, I think this is a lot of bike for $1,000. And with a couple of upgrades, I think it would be a really killer machine. Just in my case, I just feel like it's just a little bit too big for me. If this is a 54, maybe I should be on a 52 or something, 50. But again, I'm 6 feet tall and I'm always on a 56. So if you do decide to get this bike, I don't want to discourage you from getting it. It's definitely a worthy bike to own. But what I would say is just give it a test ride first, because you just want to make sure it's going to fit you comfortably. Yeah, but as you can tell, like these are 45C tires. Look at the gap. Like, you got a lot of gap here. You can put probably a bigger tire on there, and there's a big gap at the bottom too. So that's really nice. Same with the front fork. Lots of gap for even larger tires if you wanted. And fenders. It does make the bike feel kind of wheelbase long, and so that kind of takes away a little bit of the playfulness of it. Like you know, usually when the chainstays are a little bit shorter, it makes the bike feel a little bit more playful. So this tends to feel like kind of more stable and so planted. I would not say that this is like a poppy sort of jump around feeling bike. It kind of feels like more lumbery, I guess, like more trugging through stuff. It kind of reminds me of, like, I don't know, in car terms, I guess like more like a pickup truck or like a van, rather than a sports car. Now I know some carbon road bikes, you know, those will probably feel like Porsches, but for this, I would say it kind of feels like a van or a pickup truck equivalent in cars. But yeah, overall good bike, like definitely worth getting, but just be sure to give it a test ride first and compare it to other bikes and just see what you think of them. But yeah, hopefully this is helpful. This is the Breezer Radar Expert 2023 edition. Cheers.